What's going on? Welcome to this video talking about how to properly warm up for your training. So I've made this warm up as more of a general like just fights in general. So whether you're a kickboxer, a boxer, an MMA fighter, jiu-jitsu athlete, whatever it is, there's going to be some solid application here for you. Now, before we get into the specifics of the exercises, which I'm going to walk through with you, the main thing to remember with this is that the main changes that we would make for warm-ups is, number one, depending on the phase of training, we might add a little bit more like dynamic stuff in, some like basic stability plyos versus just the stability exercises you see in here, or depending on specific weaknesses for athletes. Like if I have an athlete that has some issues with their shoulder, then we're going to add a little bit of extra work on the shoulder, and we won't do as much for the hips or the lower back. We're still going to hit it, just not quite as in depth. And we're going to spend a little bit of extra time warming up whatever they need more time on, right? So use this, but also keep that idea in mind of switch up the mobility exercises or whatever other exercises you're doing based off of exactly what you need and what you need the most focus on. So let's get into it. First off, steady state cardio. For the steady state cardio, you can use literally any cardio machine you have at your gym, treadmill, bike. I usually like to use the bike, air bikes, rowing machine, ski machine, whatever it is you've got. As long as your heart rate is being elevated for 3 minutes, your blood is pumping, your heart is pumping, your body is actually warm. Don't just sit on the bike and pedal at like some bullshit speed that's not actually going to warm you up. 3 to 5 minutes. Usually we keep it at 3 because we got a lot going on in the session. I don't want to waste a bunch of time in cardio. The whole idea is you're just warm and ready for the actual session, right? Then let's get into the exercises. So we're going to start with the hips. I like to start lower body, work my way up. Sometimes we'll throw some stuff in for the ankles. Again, depends on the athlete, depends on what they feel they need the most work on. So we start with a half kneeling hip flexor. This is straight out of the training app that we use. So you can see we've got instructions here on how to actually make sure you're performing it correctly. And I won't walk through the whole video, but basically you're opening up every direction. You're opening up range in every direction in the hips. And the main focus here, and you'll see when it shifts to the back view, is you're trying to avoid any movement through the back here while you do it. So moving on to the next exercise. And again, here you're going to hit that 8 per side. And this is going to be a superset of 2. So you do all of these exercises, then repeat them. So next one, we're moving through a 90-90 hip opener. You can see Connor here sitting flat, front leg stays fully flat on the ground. And then you're just going to drive the back leg up as high as you can. So we're working on opening up the range through that back hip with each side. World's greatest stretch. There's some debate as far as like what if this is actually what the world's greatest stretch is or if it's different. Keep it simple. Back leg is going to stay fully straight back behind you. And when you're at the top, there should be a straight line from your hand to your hand without shifting around your hips, right? So a lot of people open the hips up to give them more range here. We don't want to do that. All right. Going into the next one here, where were we? Thoracic spine rotation. So really important here. Not the best angle on this video, so apologies for that. The front leg here should not be moving. So it's a pretty small video. I took it in a weird camera angle. Front leg here should not be moving. It's all about the rotation through the spine, right? If you're opening up your hips while you're doing it, you're getting more range. You're not getting more range in the spine, and that's what we want to avoid. All right. Shoulder wide to T raises. Very simple here. What we're going to do is you are going to keep your chest pressed into the bench so you're only getting range of motion through your shoulders. That's very, very important. If you're opening up your chest, I'm getting further, but I'm not actually using my shoulders, using my arms to do it, right? And we're going to hit that for 5 in each direction. So Y to T, very simple. Overhead, out to the side. So we're going to do 2 rounds of that. No rest in between. As soon as you finish your 8 each side, 12 each side, 5 each direction, just repeat at the start of that superset. And this is going to be our mobilization, right? So we have, the movement at the beginning, the steady state cardio, just getting the blood pumping. Then we have our mobilization, just working on improving range of motion in all of those different areas. Now we're going to get into our activation. So we're not necessarily stretching in this activation work, but we're just trying to get more of the muscle working, get more of the muscle moving a little bit here. So boom, 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 boom. Dynamic banded hip flexor stretch. Grab a little mini band. And what you're going to do here is stand, and without the main key with this one, as you watch me doing it, don't round through your lower back. A lot of people will like bring the hips in as they drive the knee up, and now you're taking that work away from the hip flexor and you're just using your abs to do it. So make sure that it's really concentrated in the hip flexor. The med ball rotations, these ones are interesting. Basically, again, we're working there. There's some mobility to this one as well. I'll be straight, but med ball rotations, basically it's working on just building up, getting that lower back and getting the hips moving a little bit more as well. So open that up, going in each direction. So hold a heavy ball, and then the real key is the lower body here isn't moving. Sorry, it's staying in place and it's not moving with you while you move the spine. And then going the other direction, exact same thing, keeping the lower body stationary and then just rotating the other way. So make sure you hit both legs with these as you do them. And then we got the shoulder rotations. So the biggest key here is you're not moving your upper body, right? What I see a lot of people doing is I'll see a lot of people like as the weight comes down, the body comes down. So you want to make sure that you're just rotating the shoulder, and just getting as much of that shoulder working in that movement as we can. So again, same deal. You're going to hit 2 sets of that all the way through each superset. And then at the end, I always like to hit some hand-eye coordination stuff. The reason for this is I spent a lot of time in 2024 at the UFCPI learning from the staff there, which is such a freaking blessing to have been able to do that. And one thing that they talked a lot about is hand-eye coordination training. In order to see drastic improvements to your hand-eye coordination, I believe the numbers he said was like you need to train it for 10 minutes a week. So every time my athletes are warming up, I have them doing 3 minutes of hand-eye coordination stuff. So something simple like you're throwing the ball at the wall, like throwing 2 tennis balls at the wall, like you see me show you there, and then you're just catching them as they come back. So you're having to watch and work on making sure that both hands are in the right place at the right time. So you're working on improving your ability to react to more than one thing at a time. So really great drill. The way I like to do it, make it a little bit of a game. Work for 60 seconds, count at the number that you get in that 60 seconds of work, rest for 30 seconds, just take a couple deep breaths, do it 3 times. So this is a great way to start your warm-ups for your next training session. Again, switch up some exercises, everything like that, based off of what you feel you need more. You can also add in, let's see if I can do it live on the video here and not screw anything up. You can also add in some like basic plyometric work. So like we don't want to do anything too crazy because obviously we're warming up, but you can use exercises like this lateral hop and hold as well. So again, just very, very basic plyos. So if I open that up, I'd throw in like 2 to 3 sets of a drill like this, where it's just very basic plyo. You're not focused on a lot of explosiveness. You're just focused on improving your hip stability and your ability to land effectively through your hips, which is just going to activate the hips a little more, get them working, get yourself ready for that session. So you can throw some stuff in like that if you feel like you're not doing enough active stuff in that original warm-up that I gave here. But again, I hope that was valuable. I hope you got some good stuff out of it. If you did, shoot me a message back after you watch this video. Tell me what you took away. Tell me what you're going to start implementing. And if you use this, tag me. Take a video of part of the warm-up, like post it on your Instagram story, tag me. I'd love to see that you're using it. When I make these resources, it's always good to know that people are taking stuff away. It's even better when I can actually see the evidence. So I appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you back on Instagram